Bhagavan has to remember, time to start. Keep your back straight, eyes closed. Let's invoke the grace and blessings of Bhagavan and Puja Gurudev. So please repeat after me. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailogyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. The student, having decided that my goal is to become permanently happy, that student has been given 4 practices to start his journey. And the first practice that we saw or an activity that we saw was ahar, is food. Food obviously will give us the right energy. So whatever it is that your goal you have tried to achieve, and spiritual seeker wants realization. But for others, they may want something else. So based on what the goal is, the person takes in the food that is required to energize the body and mind. And when the energy is there, then one has to do the right action. So we saw yagna, that everything should be done in that spirit, for realization I'm talking about, in the spirit of the well-being of everybody. Should be done without that expectation and attachment to the result. The joy that that person gets is from the action itself, because I'm able to express myself, my skills and ability. Cheerfully accept whatever comes as prasad. And in this attitude, this seeker functions in the world. But depending on whether sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So food also sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. Action also sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So having done the action, the yagna, now while doing the action to achieve the goal, certain things I have to renounce, detach from. Hence, some tapas is required. So therefore, again tapas we saw, the three different types of tapas. One is at the level of body, at the level of speech, and the level of mind. Again, sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So having done the tapas means restrain yourself, discipline yourself to stay away from that which is not going to help you to get to your goal. Do those actions, that yagna, for reaching the goal. Now, having done all of that, then what happens? The result has to come. Now, what do you do with the result that you have gained? Now, we already saw that the entire universe helps us to get what we want. Now, if we are in tune with the universe, sattvic mind and intellect, when it's in tune, it's in that cycle of yagna. When it's a little distuned or untuned, depending on that sattva and the rajas and the tamas and the sattva, the attunement is accordingly. Now, if it's in line with the universe, then obviously the best result will come to us. But if we're not in tune with it, then whatever result will come. Now, whatever the result that comes to us, what should we do with that result? So now, Bhagavan goes to the fourth aspect. So, ahar, yajna, tapas, and now, dhanam. So what is this dhanam? Let us have a look. Verse number 20.
Datavyamiti yadhanam, datavyamiti yadhanam, diyate nupakarine, deshe kale cha patre cha, taddanam swatmikam smritam.
This reminds me of two stories. One was a story of Puja Gurudev. Quite a hilarious story. But I'll keep it short. Puja Gurudev, whenever he went around the world, his preoccupation was to share this knowledge. And devotees' preoccupation is what? To inspire him to build ashrams, so that they can spend time learning, etc. That's how the whole Chinmaya mission started also. So in one place in India, they were looking for a property, but they could not find. And they had approached different people to become donors. But absolutely no available. So finally Gurudev was walking in that street and he said, what about this house? It looks a bit dilapidated. We can always fix it. Why don't we find out whether they're ready to give it at a cheap price or whatever? And the devotee said, no, Gurudev, this house is haunted. This house is haunted. We should not get an ashram where, ghost and everything is there. Right? What will happen to the devotees? Anyway, so Gurudev said, let us find out anyway. So when they found out, the landlord said, I've been trying to get rid of this property for so many years. Now nobody wants it. And I also don't want it. Because it's haunted, no doubt. So I'm ready to give it to you for free. So devotees, committee, Gurudev, please don't take it. It says haunted. Then Gurudev said, okay. Just to prove to you that everything will be okay, I will stay in this house tonight. All by myself. We knows nobody is going to come and sit there. And tomorrow, we will work out. If I am alive, ghost is not. If ghost is alive, then I am not. Now, nobody can disobey Gurudev anyway. So, Gurudev went. Now, everybody is waiting what to do. Heart, in their mouth. How can we do this? How can we let Gurudev go in there? But anyway, next day morning, Gurudev came out smiling. Said, Gurudev, what happened? What happened? The ghost left. What did you do? Very simple. I asked him for donation. Even the ghost does not want to give donation. Now imagine our condition. So, now whether this is a true story or not, I don't know. I was personally not there. But I heard from some masters that he asked, ghost ran away. So, giving what we have received. From after doing all the actions, the result is the prasad. Now what should you do with it? So it reminds me of another story. Arjuna and Krishna. Before the battle started, they went around looking for support and collecting weapons, etc. So they went everywhere. And at night, they need a place to stay. They have gone to random places, not like where the kingdoms are and all that. So, in one place they went to, they saw a rich man's house, a big palace. So he went and knocked on the door. And Arjuna was expecting, Krishna is standing there. We will get the best. So the door opened and the man looked outside and said, yes, what can I do for you? Sir, we are wandering around. This is Krishna, I am Arjuna. We want a place to stay. So that rich man said, no, there is no place here. We are full out. And Arjuna said, but sir, it's such a big place. You don't have a small space for me and Krishna to stay here? No. Then after a bit of persuasion, he said, okay, I've got a horse shed. Or cow shed, whatever. Right? You can stay there if you like. Or I have a basement. You can stay in the basement. So Arjuna thought, better than staying in a cow shed, we'll stay in the basement. And then Arjuna, we are also hungry. Can you give us some food? There's no food here. Oh, what are you asking for food? Right? Even giving you a place to stay itself is a big thing. Now you are asking for food? So Arjuna said, we have been traveling, at least some bread and water. Okay, I'll give you 2 pieces of bread and some water. So they went downstairs, basement, totally dirty, disgusting, cobwebs, holes everywhere, everything. And Krishna said, oh, such a nice, wonderful place. What wonderful place. Because he's with Krishna. So he doesn't want Krishna to suffer also. Best friend, no? So anyway, so they ate the 2 pieces of bread of water. And then Arjuna said, I'm going to sleep. And Krishna was looking around. He said, I must help this man. And Arjuna is like, Krishna, go to sleep. No. He's given us such hospitality. We must support him. Right? So Arjuna was a bit annoyed but went to sleep. Krishna stayed up all night, patching all the holes in the basement, cleaned it up, even gave a painting coat of paint also. And when Arjuna woke up, he said, where am I? It looks so nice. And Krishna said, you like my work? Arjuna said, what work? The man gave you 2 pieces of bread and water and this place to sleep and you made it look so luxurious. Why did you do that? Krishna looked at him and said, things are not the way they seem, Arjuna. What is not the way they seem? See, I knew it. You people, I tell you, only support the rich. Right? The rich man, whether he gives or not, you are supporting him. So anyway, Krishna said, Arjuna, things are not the way they seem. They left. And as they were leaving, Krishna was shaking the hands of the merchant. Thank you so much for your hospitality. It is so amazing, so wonderful. And that man, and Arjuna saying, what wonderful. You rascal, 2 pieces of bread, such a rich man, and 2 pieces of bread and water also, not even milk. Anyway, they left. Next day, full day's hard work, looking for stuff and partnership, etc. They came to a poor man's hut. And Arjuna said, that man's house, 2 pieces of bread and water. This man's house, today we are fasting only. Anyway, Krishna said, come, let's go. Knocked on the door. And they opened the door. This old couple, farming couple, said, come in. Can we have a place to stay? Of course you can stay here, no problem. And then Arjuna went inside and he saw it was just one room. It's like our studio apartments nowadays. It was only a hut, right? Everything is in one room only. He said, of course you can stay. And then Arjuna looked around. There was one bed that can fit the husband and wife. Only one bed is there. And all mud floor. And then Arjuna asked, so where will we be sleeping? Oh, you can sleep on our bed. We'll sleep on the floor. And then Arjuna said, I'm hungry. He said, of course you can eat. But only thing is we only have 2 chapati and some sabji. Can you both share it? And tonight we won't eat. It's fine. Every day we eat. So 1 meal we miss, it's okay. So gave it. And Arjuna ate everything, polished everything, and went to sleep. And Krishna got up and went to sleep also. And Krishna was snoring away. So Arjuna woke up and he said, why Krishna is not doing anything for this house? He was so agitated through the night, he couldn't sleep. But Krishna snored away. And next day morning, they woke up. And they had a buffalo. So that one buffalo gave milk. And that milk also they gave Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna shamelessly drank all of it. And then Krishna walked out. And Arjuna is thanking them. Krishna did not utter a word. And Arjuna was feeling, Krishna, say something. They gave everything they had for us. Things are not the way they seem. Come, we have to go. And Arjuna was angry. So they went a little bit further from the house. Then Krishna said, stop. Arjuna said, stop. Krishna, now tell me, what is the problem with you? That rich man, you did all that. This poor man, you did nothing. And as Arjuna was scolding Krishna, the buffalo died. And they could hear some crying. And Arjuna said, see, even the buffalo has died. You had the power to save the buffalo also. And give them lots, but you have not given them anything. And you were terrible. I don't know how come I'm your friend. And Arjuna went on. Krishna said, Arjuna, things are not the way they seem. I want to know what does that mean. So Krishna said, Arjuna, that rich man, if you looked at his house, how rich he was. How rich was he? He was we won't say filthy rich, but he was rich. Right? And he had so much money, but he could not give us a nice accommodation or food or whatever. Right? But he gave us something. And he had so much, he could not share. So what did I do? To teach him a lesson. When you hoard things without sharing with others, some lesson should be learned. And he had stashed away all his gold, black money, everything in the holes in some parts of the holes in the basement. So what did I do? I patched it all up, cleaned it up, painted it. So now when he goes in, he won't know where the money is hidden. So he pretty much has to demolish his whole house to find the money. Right? So this is what he has to learn. When you hoard money, it will be taken away from you. That's why those of you studied Bhikshu Gita also. Then Arjuna said, but what about this man? They gave you everything. And you even got rid of the buffalo also. And Krishna said, Arey Baba, for such a person, what can I give but myself only? But what was the gap between them coming to me and from where they are is that buffalo only, because that's the only attachment they had. So what did I do? I removed their attachment. So now they will automatically surrender to me. So when we are giving, first of all, it's not how much we have. It's how much abundant we feel. That sense of fulfillment I have. Right? You must first have the heart to give. That's first thing. That you must feel full. Then you feel happy. Now, to feel full and happy, you must first feel grateful. So, which we already see. So, gratitude that I have. Then I feel full, contented with what I have. Because if you say that I am contented, then you will never say, I want more, I want more, I want. Happiness is not postponed. Happiness is here. So, I must feel full. Right? And in that fullness, I must be able to satisfy my needs. And once my needs are satisfied, anything excess is what I should share. Very clear we have to be. Because there are some of us that don't have, but want to give. Now how can you give something you don't have? And then you yourself will become charity case. See, when you give, you must have to give, and you should not become a charity case that somebody else will give you. So therefore, when you give, you must first meet your needs, not your wants. Your needs. Your daily requirements are met. Then the rest you can give. Now our Gurudev's pledge, actually this entire chapter 17 is in our pledge only. Actually the entire Gita is in the pledge. Right? What does he say? Produce more than what you consume, give more than what you take. So to give, you must produce. Then how to give if you can't produce? So produce. And then keep for your need, and then give the excess. Right? And how much do we really need? So therefore we have to think. So therefore, this charity, this dhanam, when it is to be given, keeping this attitude of abundance, fullness, gratitude, and meeting your needs and giving more by working hard and earning more. So now in verse 20, Bhagavan says, that gift which is given to one who does nothing in return, means you give because that person needs. They don't need to give you anything in return. Means have no expectations that they will reciprocate. They may give gali also. Many times we, do something good to somebody, and then they turn around, why you did this for me? And then you sit there and think, I should not have done this. Next time I won't do. What kind of attitude is that? Means we've got attachment. That they will appreciate. Even appreciation is a return. Have no expectation of any return. You give because you have the ability to give. And give it with that abundance, that fullness of your heart. And expect nothing in return. Know that this is my duty. This is my duty. All of us, our duty is to share what we have gained. The whole universe has helped me to become who I am. And if I have been given abundance, I should share it with others. And especially those who need it. Otherwise, in chapter 3, Krishna gives a special name for such a person who does not share. Thief. In previous section, he called hypocrite, mityajar. Then after the first, that first few verses, he hits you, he kills you pretty much. Get on with your act. Thief. So therefore, share what you have with others who need. But when you share, you must share it at the right place. Not at the wrong place. Person going to bathroom. Then you stop them at the bathroom. I'm ready to give donation. Is that the time to give? Person about to catch a flight. Right. I have people do that to me also sometimes. Swamiji, what am I going to do now? Right. So therefore, fit place. You must know where the appropriate place to give. Then you must give it at the appropriate time. Of course, we usually say good things you can do immediately. But that also is important. Not when somebody is coming down the stairs. Right. Some people do pranams as the person walks down the stairs. Now we don't know who's going to fall. Or maybe both will fall only. Right. So therefore, right time also. And also we have to look at the worthiness of the person you are giving the charity to. Are they worthy of your offering? This is not a judgment call. You have to discriminate. So Gurudev says there are two types of philosophy in Hinduism. That one school of philosophy thinks that when you give, you should be like a tree. Just like my mango tree. I heard some people have already taken a few mangoes. But Swamiji, it's fallen down, so it's okay. First, even if you took it there, make chat pickle or whatever, and then offer it to Sri Rama, because it's his garden. Right. If you pluck a rose, make sure you ask Gurudev, it's his garden. Roses belong to him, not me. I'm only guardian. So I'm allowed to get cranky, because it is. So, is the person worthy of? So two schools are there. So one school is be like a tree. So whatever is there, anybody can take and eat. Whether worthy, unworthy, it doesn't matter. Tree doesn't sit there and think, is this person going to be like a tree? Or Gurudev gives another example of a river is flowing. Right? A murderer also can go and wash his hands. A good sadhu also can drink the water. No discrimination. Everybody is equal. But here, Krishna is telling what? Person who is worthy. Means we have to put our discrimination on. The technique that I always think about is, because money means, charity means, most of us think of charity as money. Money is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is mother. Will I send my mother to somebody without thinking? Any child too, who's looking after their mother may be independent, but still, I will advise, Ma, don't go there. It's not good for, right? I will stop you from doing it if it's not good. So therefore, will you send your mother to that person? Will you send Lakshmi money to that? Is that person worthy? Will that person look after your mother the way it should be looked after? Will they use that money in the right manner? So we have to think. Then having thought about it, then give. Don't go and second guess. What did they do with the money now? I want a receipt. I want a statement. Now, before giving, you should analyze. After giving, don't sit there and go and say what they did with it. Right. After that, it's their business. You check whether it's worthy first. Then you give. And such a person is said to be a sattvic person. So, all clear in your giving. Once you know it is worthy, at the right time, at the right place, know that it is your duty, right? That Bhagavan has given you everything. Now this is my chance to share. But share it with joy. But I remember one example that comes in Katha Upanishad. Nachiketa, I don't know how many of you have read, attended Pujya Swamiji's Katha Upanishad, right? That Nachiketa, this little boy, 5-year-old or 8-year-old boy, his father was doing this yagna. And the yagna was to get lots of blessings so that he can get heaven. Right? And he was doing this yagna so happily, and at the end of the yagna, he has to, every day, he has to give wealth in to all the brahmanas. And this man was a rich brahmana, a rich person. And he was giving away cows. Because in those days, cows was the wealth. He was giving away wealth, his cows, with such great joy. Now, when you are getting anything free, you are very happy to collect. But the person giving should know what they are giving. Is it going to benefit the person receiving it? But this man was giving it, what? The cow. But the cow, as soon as it leaves that door, the ashram, that premises, the cow collapses. Now, to get rid of the cow, the brahmana has to spend money. So what are you giving? I don't know what to do with these cows. So I will give in dhanam, and then whoever receives it will have to pay for the expense. So cow which has finished giving milk for the last time, it's not going to do anything else, no use, even the skin is no use, right? It's such an old cow, right? It only increases the expense of the brahmana. So therefore, such is not dhanam. It should be useful to the person giving. And this is also very important. And you must, when you must give your best. Otherwise, no point. We give to the Salvation Army and all that. Have you ever seen what type of things we give? Sent to Sri Lanka. That poor people, we will give clothes, abundant clothes. What clothes you are giving them? All your old throwaways, right? Torn. And right, what all people put in that? Now Salvation Army got new rule now. That we will inspect. And we will choose whether we are taking or not. Old dirty mattresses which you have got ridden, you don't know what to do with it. Right? And if you took it to the tip, it's going to cost you. So you give it to the salvos. And then what they have to do, they have to take all of this. Charity organization. And then, that is why when we first built this place, ashram, I remember Kirti Bhai said one thing. He said, we will ask people to give money. We will buy what we need. Because he must have studied Nachiketa's story. Right? That is why now just ask for donation. I've had a couple of experiences, people give me donations like that, but we won't talk about that right now. So the idea is what is useful and beneficial for the receiver. Otherwise, don't give. I remember when Pujya Swamiji had come to Melbourne. Once Pujya Swamiji has come to my parents' house for Bhiksha, many years ago. And when you go to Bhikshas, you don't know what to give the Swami because you see other people giving. So now I've been to 7 Bhikshas and I saw 7 different things given to him. Right? So I bought all 7 things. Right? And it was like, Pujya Swamiji has come for his marriage or something. And then I got all the chicks to carry 1 tray each. And then Pujya Swamiji is waiting to receive the Guru Dakshina. And they said, what is all this? I said, Swamiji, I couldn't work out what you wanted. And then I'd give him a vest and inner clothes and everything. Then after he cheerfully accepted it, then next day when I went to the ashram, he said, come. So I went. He opened his drawer. He said, what do you see here? Vests and inner clothes and everything. He said, see how much I have got. And on top of that, you give me this also. Right? So I don't really. So you must find out what that person needs, not what you think. Gala, shawl, gala. I whole cupboard. I'm trying to give away. If anybody needs, please come. Don't take the one I wear. Some of you do this also. Swamiji, I'm feeling cold. Oh, this looks good. I think that is the only shawl I wore. Everything else you could have taken. Why'd you take my shawl without asking? So the idea is, give only what they require. All right. So this is Sattvic. Now let's go to Rajasic person.
Yattu pari upakarartham yattu pari palam uddishya va punaha uddishya diyate cha pariklishtham taddanam rajasam smritam.
That gift which is given with a view of receiving something in return. So this is important. So here the dhanam is, I want something in return. And when? Now. At least a thank you. Now we've done this yagna. Now yagna is done so that we purify our... So see, the greatest prasad is exhaustion of vasanas, integration of mind, and that's why we do the seva. Right? They never said thank you. Actually, if you expect something in return, only increase, no decrease. Agitation increases. So therefore, when somebody expects something in return now, or is looking out for, again I will get the same result, such a person is called Rajasic. Expect nothing. The only expectation is, I do it as best as I can so that vasanas will get exhausted. My mind, purification of my mind and intellect will take place. And there are other people who give with reluctancy. May have, but reluctant. We should never do anything reluctantly. If you do it with full heart. Otherwise, don't do it. Because what you're doing is, you're only increasing problem called vasana. Right? When you give. When you do. 100%. Then you have a chance of purification. And if purification doesn't take place also, at least the chance of getting some merit, good merit is also there. But 100%. So when you have to serve food to somebody, that's also giving only. Right? But if you give it with, why I have to give? Even at home also. When you have to serve your people food, etc. Remember, I am giving charity. Right? So therefore, it should be in that sattvic mode. Otherwise, so reluctantly, do not give anything. Give with your full heart. So this is called Rajasic person. Okay, what is the Tamasic person?
Adesha kale yadhanam aparte bhascha diyate asat kritam avajñatham tattamasamudahritam.
That gift which is given at the wrong place. Now what is wrong place? Sending your mother to the wrong place. Where? To the casino. And you give tips at the casino. I give you a tip. Don't go there. Why? Because you are not going to win anything. You may win a little bit. But remember, casino is making profits. Otherwise they will not be in business. So somebody's money they are taking. Right? So it is your money only. So therefore don't go there. That's a good tip for you. Freely available. So the idea is wrong place. So 4 wrong places in Bhagavatam where your dharma gets crushed. One is, actually 5 places we can include also, the 5th one also. First one is, what's the first one? Gambling dens. Then places where alcohol, drugs, etc. is created. Then places of meat eating, slaughterhouses. Then brothels. 4. And the 5th one is in gold, in money itself. But here I would say bank. You know how much mortgage people take? Credit card companies. They're not your best friend, you know. I mean, they're useful. But you must know what your limit is. Money is also nothing wrong with it. But it can and you can get into trouble. So, wrong places you should not give dhanam to. Casino goes on, now Crown Casino has come to near the airport, new airport going to be, right? And then they start put it on the stock exchange. And suddenly you feel, I should buy the stock, share market is going up. Yes, it's profitable, no doubt. But what are you supporting? Wrong activity. Right? It's going to destroy the society. It is not going to improve the society. So therefore, wrong places one should not give dhanam. And at wrong time also we should not give. And to unworthy people also we should not give. I used to use this example that one should, we always have parties and call friends and all that to come and eat, no? Right? But if you really think about it, those people you have invited, they already have food at home. Right? Why are we giving food to them? You should call, those people who don't have food and say, come, let's have a nice meal together. That is dhanam. So somebody said to me, Swamiji, you should not be so negative about this thing. We should look at positive also. I said, what is the positive? See, all the ammas, every day they cook. I take that with a pinch of quotation mark, that every day they cook. Right? Okay, assuming they cook every day. Right? That once a month, they should have break or not. So therefore, I'm giving them opportunity to take a break that day. I said, what a thought. That's such a good thought. So that is dhanam. If you have the right attitude and that such issues are there, then by all means. Otherwise, having parties is all a waste of time. Good socializing, but you don't have to give so much food and all that. That's why prasad also. How much is prasad? When you go to temple, 1 teaspoon they give you prasad. But what do we expect when you go to temples and all that now? Ashram and big prasad, buffet. Pack and take home also. That's also good. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But do we really need it? It's only when you do the soup kitchen and all that you understand who needs it and who actually doesn't need it. Sometimes we should do seva like that. Not sometimes, all the time. Then we will know. So, the gift that is given at a wrong place, at time to unworthy persons, without, now, you may do all the right things. But you do not respect the person you're giving it to. You invite somebody to your house for food, and then you throw the plate at them. Take and eat. So when you give, it's as though Bhagavan is receiving the offering. Whether it's food, whether it's money, whatever it is. So you should feel privileged that Bhagavan is giving you a chance to serve him. But our problem is, I am so good, a useless fellow, asking for money all the time. Take it. Right? It should not be like that. Again, if we do such things, look at the ramification of that karma. And no purity will take place. So, with respect we must give, not without respect, with no insult. And if you do such things, that means disrespect, insult, and then give. Such a person is called tamasic person. This is called tamasic dhan. So whatever you give it with a smile. Not an outer smile, but inner smile. Cheerfully you should give, because you've got the opportunity to serve. And the result of that, purification of, exhaustion of asta, purification of mind, allowing me to get closer to discovering who I am. And that is the greatest gift I can get as a giver. And the receiver also, when receiving, that's also another story. Don't say, I already have this, I don't want. I was hearing from somebody that India gives the most food dhanam, annadhanam to, of course it's a big country, right? But I heard from somebody that in that one temple they give food. Every day, 3 meals a day is given. The people who don't have food, they call up and find out what's on the menu. And if it's not what I want, I will look at another temple, because whatever you're given, you should cheerfully accept as prasad. And you should bless the person giving you. That's why when we also, Annadata, Sukhi Bhava, whoever made this food possible, may all of them be blessed. Even if it's a little morsel, right? You ran out, food is finished and you only have 1 teaspoon. Even that 1 teaspoon you should thank. Otherwise, tamasik only. No benefit. Now Bhagavan comes to this concluding section. Because knowing us, we will forget everything we learned. So in what attitude should we function? So now, 23 please.
Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdeshaha Brahmanas Trividas Smritaha Brahmanas Tena Vedascha Brahmanas Yajnascha Vitaf Pura Yatagnascha Vihitaf Pura.
Om Tat Sat. Where have we heard this before? In different places. So here, Om Tat Sat indicates Brahman, the infinite truth. And 3 indicators or 3, I would call it 3 indicators which indicate Brahman. Om. What is this? Om. So Om Tat Sat, this has been declared to the triple designation of Brahman. By that were created formally the Brahmanas, the Vedas and sacrifices. So from these 3, from that Om itself, everything came. So when we say Om, you can see a very nice Om is sitting there. It means Brahman. Om is another name for Brahman. And Brahman, from Brahman only everything came. In Brahman only everything is maintained. In Brahman only everything goes back to. So what is our goal in our life? Is to reach Brahman. To discover that everything is Brahman. And if everything is Brahman, who am I? Brahman, that pure Atma, that pure infinite self. So this Om represents my true nature. And that is my goal. So Om. And in Om only, those of you who learn Sanskrit, I told you all. Om represents 3 syllables or 3 letters, U and Ma. At the throat, U at the lips, M when you close it. And all your tongue movements are in U and Ma. Means what? All sounds only come in your mouth. And so, if all sounds are in your mouth, means all words are in your mouth. And what is all of this? Nothing but sound. Sound, words, and every word has a form. So everything that we experience in this world outside is nothing but name and form. So therefore, Om represents everything. Right? Om also represents our 3 states of experience. Waking, dream and deep sleep. That you have to study. Ganapati Atharva Shisho Upanishad. Or Mandukya Upanishad. Then you will understand. One day we will do. Those who have not studied it. So Om. Tat. What is this Tat? That. Tattvamasi. You, who you? Mr., Miss, Mrs., Miss, Master Ego. You, Jiva, is that. Which that? That Ishvara. That Brahman. Depending on how you want to take Tattvamasi. That Lord of the universe, you are that. I am that. How can I be that? So Mahavakya comes in Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvamasi. So removing your conditioning, body, mind, intellect and vasanas, what remains is Om, that pure consciousness. From Ishvara, remove the BMI, total causal body, Brahman. Brahman, one and the same, Tattvam Asi. So therefore, and if that Ishvara, I should keep on remembering all the time. If that Ishvara is all of this, because everything came from God only. So every single thing here is nothing but God in different form. So I must keep that in my mind. And then Sat. What is this Sat? Sat means existence. Everyone is existing. Who am I serving? Who am I looking after? What am I walking on? What am I eating? What am I seeing? What am I experiencing? Is all existing. I cannot experience something which does not exist. But whatever I am experiencing will perish. But what is that existence in this perishing existence which is always going to be there? What is that that gives existence to everything? That existence is the infinite truth. It is the substratum. So the very existence. So when I'm serving you, what should be my attitude? That existence is nothing but that supreme. That's why when you say Hari Om, Namaste, the Lord in me and the Lord in you are one. Your very existence is nothing but the Lord expressing Himself. So everybody is God in different forms. Form will change, name will change, but the existence still stays the same. So therefore, every action I do, existence is there or not? Consciousness is there or not? So every action is Brahman. What I'm eating, the food is also Brahman. The experience I'm having is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. That's why our most favorite prayer, Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Right? So therefore everything, whether it's Yagna, Dana, Tapa, Ahar, everything is Brahman. The doer, the enjoyer, everybody is Brahman only. To that I bow. Right? Now, Om, Tat, Sat. 3 different indicators of the same Brahman. So when the rishis wanted to do different actions, they remembered different aspects or indicators of the truth. Either you say it all 3 together, or individually you say it. It will make everything auspicious. And when you think of Om, what will you think of? That is my goal. And whenever you're doing anything and you remember your goal, chances of you doing wrong thing, chances is removed. Because why? Your attention is on your goal. Whenever we remember our goal, when we remember that the Ishvara has given me everything and my gratitude comes into my heart, what will be my condition? When I'm grateful and I have love in the heart, I can't do wrong. And when I see that Bhagavan is looking at me, and I'm serving him right now, can I do anything wrong? So in all those 3 aspects, all I'm doing is lifting myself to the higher. So Om, Tat, Sat. Now let's read the rest of the verses.
Tasmad Om ityudahritya Tasmad Yajnadana tapakriyaha Pravartante vidhanoktaha Satatam brahmavadinam.
Therefore, the utterance of Om are begun the acts of sacrifice, gifts and austerity as enjoined in the scriptures always by the students of Brahman. So when you remember Om, you remember your goal, and then you do all these things, what will be your actions? In line with that only. Okay, next.
Tadityanabhisandhaya Palam yajnatapakriyaha Dana kriyascha vividaha Kriyante moksha kangshibihi.
Moksha. So the one who wants liberation, to get liberation directly is very difficult. So therefore you look towards Ishvara for blessings and guidance. And when such a person has that desire for liberation, Bhagavan himself sends the Guru to us. That's why we say Guru Eva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My Bhagavan only comes as my Guru. There is no difference. So therefore, remembering that Lord, that Tat, without aiming for any fruits. So when we worship God or do any action, we always are focused on this temporary result. You focus on Him. And whatever you need, He will give. But our problem is we focus on what He has, not on Him. I've told you many stories before. Right. The idea is that when you hold on to Him, and when you have Him, you have everything. When you know the Prime Minister, all his ministers are at your disposal. So this is what we have to understand. So without aiming for any fruits, and if you want some fruit, the only fruit is purification of the mind and intellect. So that I can come to know my Supreme Self. Right? So are the uttering Tat without aiming at the fruits are the acts of sacrifice and austerity and the various acts of gift performed by the seekers of liberation. So whatever we do, it's only to realize the truth. So they utter the word Tat before doing it. So they remember that I am a seeker of liberation, that I am doing it out of blessings by the Lord. So therefore, that gratitude comes in my heart and my dedication and love comes. Okay, 26.
Sadbhave sadhubhave cha Sadityetat praryujyate prashaste karmani tatha prashaste Satchavtah partha yujyate.
So, revisiting what I had already said, the word Sat is used in the sense of reality and of goodness. So, whenever we remember that the Lord is always with us, then what happens in our heart is the sense of feeling, that sense of goodness. May I be valued person. Not valued person, that I am full of values. So I am full of goodness. So Sat also means goodness. Sat also knows valued person. A sadhu is also called Sat only. Guru is also called Sat only. Why? Because they are the very existence. They are the very embodiment of goodness. So therefore this word Sat means the supreme reality and the means to achieve it, which is goodness. Who do you call a noble and good person? One who is valued, who lives by the ordinance, the support, the practices of what the scriptures teach us. So therefore this Sat, when we chant, we also, when remembering that, we know that everything is nothing but the Lord in different forms. Invoke that goodness in me and do that best offering I can in the ahara, in the yajna, in the tapas and in the dhanam. Further on that Sat.
Yagne tapasi dhane cha Stitis sadati chocyate Karma chaiva tadarthiyam Sadityeva vidhiyate.
So be steadfast in your yajna, tapas and dhanam. So be steadfast. So the person who is steadfast is also called Sat. That's why we said sadhu. All of them are, that's Sat only. Because they are very single pointed in what they are trying to achieve. So we also should be like that. Sadhu Purushas only Sat. And also whatever actions are connected to them will also lead to goodness of everybody else also. And finally help them to reach that infinite Sat. But if you don't be steadfast, remember Shraddha, all of this should be done with Shraddha. What is your motivation in action? Not only action, your motive behind this action. So Om Tat Sat reminds us of what is our motive. How should we act? What should be our perception of who we are serving? Right? So this must be constantly kept in our mind. But what will we do? What will be our power of pushing us to do what we are doing? Is all to do with our Shraddha only. What is that motivation? Right? So what is this Swabhava, these vasanas that are pushing me to act outside? But the moment I remember Om Tat Sat, to that extent I will be lifted. But what happens if I don't have any Shraddha? What happens? If you don't have any Shraddha, you're not going to do it anyway. What a question. But Arjuna wants to know, what happens if you don't have any faith? Swamiji, I'm an atheist. No faith. But you follow all the principles of what the scripture said. And you do it single-pointedly towards that. Then obviously you will get benefit. Because only thing is, your goal is not moksha, but you are following all the principles of the scriptures. Right? And that's the means to take you there. Right? To that extent, you will progress. But here this person has no Shraddha. So what does Bhagavan say? Verse 28.
Ashraddhayahutam datam tapastaptam kritam chayat asat it uchyate partha asad it uchyate nachatat pretya no hiha.
So whatever is sacrificed, yajna, dhanam, tapas, if any of these things are not practiced with faith, it is called asat. Sat is to take you there. Asat means tapas to take you up there. Pata is to fall. So one who does these things without Shraddha, no Shraddha also, pure Sattvic, definite, but done with Rajas, Tamas. And these Rajas and Tamas is what you and I need to remove from our life. Our nature, mind's nature is Sattvic. On top of this Sattvic mind, we've got Rajas and Tamas playing. The veiling of the intellect by our Avarana Shakti of Maya. Then projection of Rajas. So these two only we have to remove. So our faith should be to remove that and come to experience our true nature. But if we don't have faith for that, and our faith is only in this level, then what is going to happen? We are going to be stuck here only. And what is this world? It's called samsara. Continuous change only. We think that I'm going to be happy. The moment you get it, something else comes to tell you, "Arey, why did you buy this car? You should have waited for another few days. You could have got a better car for the same price." What to do now? Right? Other man, I did this last few weeks ago. I went and put petrol. And then I was driving on the road and then I saw 20 cents even cheaper. I said, it's 20 cents. What to do? This is the condition of living in this Rajasic, Tamasic world. Right? You're never satisfied. At that time when I got it, I said, what a good price. Right? $1.80. Not bad. Not $2. And I $1.65 somewhere. What to do? So therefore, this world of samsara is only going to lead to sorrow only. So therefore, that Shraddha towards that Om Tat Sat. If we do not have that Shraddha and we only want this world of joys, this is called Asat. Because how long does this last? It's like a dream only. That's why when I was little, they taught me nursery rhyme, which I never understood. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is like a dream. We didn't pick that. We said merrily, merrily and very happy. But it's only a dream, Baba. Before you know it, it's gone. Then you're back to sorrow again. So therefore, one who has no Shraddha will only live in this samsara and there will be no progress. Here and in the next life also. Because why? From this life to next life, both is dream world only. What are you going to do? Birth after birth? Live in this world. Till that Shraddha comes, that this is only temporary, is not giving what I want that. And when that person reaches, we realize the truth. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Baghavad Gita Su Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Saptadashodhyayah. So even end of this chapter, Om Tat Sat. Why? Must keep remembering the goal, the Lord, and the means. The world is all nothing but Him trying to lift us. That's why we do the Chinmaya pledge also at the end. Om Tat Sat. When we end up doing puja also, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Brahmarpanamastu. Why? Again and again reminded, but we don't understand. When we do Om in the start of the class, how many of you are thinking that my goal is Brahman? Or how many of us are trying to impress other persons, how I can chant Om louder? Or how many of us are feeling a bit shy to chant Om, so therefore... You should raw that Om in orchestra format, not in your own. Right? Om should be to remind us, that is my goal. Right? So Om. And then that Shanti, loud, soft, and then only I can hear. May the cosmos be peaceful with me and help me. May my neighbors be peaceful and be happy with me to support me. And may my mind be peaceful and happy to support me so that I can reach Om. And with that, we end today's yajna. So we saw a mirror of who we are. And I definitely saw who I was. And this journey is for me to reach the infinite. It's your journey to reach the infinite. So thank you all for being my Sat. Because of you, I was able to serve you and remind myself who I am serving. I remember that Ishvara, that Tat. And I remember that my goal is Om. So I take prostrate to all of you and to Bhagavan and Puja Gurudev and the Guru Parampara, and may the Lord bless us so that we can gain this moksha. And thank you all for coming, and thank you all who have helped to make this possible. Because without the hard-working workers in the back, the sevaks, obviously after listening to this, I don't think they're going to come and say, Swamiji, say thank you. But out of my gratitude, I must say thank you. Because I got the chance to learn from all of you by sharing. Hari Om. Purnamada not done. And Purnamada reminds us, Om, goal, but I am always complete and perfect. Which I? Remove the Gadabada behind. But even the Gadabada is only to remind me that I am perfect. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Shri Gurudev Shri Krishna.